All right, what's going on, everyone? My name is Sherwin, and we are in the Model Y studios. Sean, aka what is the
Rogue Leader MYP.
there we go, Model Y Performance, and he's taken some time with us to talk about his EV journey. This is EV Confessions, and I have Sean with me. So, what do you do, Sean?
I do lighting in the movie industry.
Okay, and we're in the Model Y Performance. What was your previous cars prior to your EV?
I was in a plug-in Fusion, Ford Fusion.
Oh, okay. So
So
you're already like halfway there with
halfway there. Started with a 2010 Prius, and then I owned two plug-in Fusions after that, and now the Model Y.
out of all the plugins, which one was your favorite?
Oh, this one, this is my
Well,
favorite.
not including EVs,
Oh,
just
okay. Uh,
prior to this.
I mean the Fusions were both practically identical. I
Yeah.
modified them both pretty much the same way, same color scheme, the whole bit. The Prius wasn't a plug-in; it was just the standard
The
hybrid.
regular hybrid?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's kind of what got me into the mode of wanting to go full
It's like the
electric. And
gateway drug or
pretty
something.
much, yeah,
Yeah, I've had two or three Priuses and I loved them.
yeah.
Loved them and then got into EVs. Okay. And so what made you transition to full electric?
Just, I mean, I commute a lot, and I wanted something different. Tesla's, of course, the Model Y had been out for about a year at that point, and so it had kind of proven itself. And I was definitely looking for a change, and figured with the payment that I was making with the plug-in Fusion compared to what my payment is, and you factor in the gas that I was spending every month, it's basically a wash. So
Why not?
it
You're
made
already
all the
spending that
sense.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
And now I've got a car that has a lot more utility. That's obviously way faster, a lot more power, a lot more room. It just it's just a no-brainer, really.
So when he's talking about utility, he's done a lot to this car, and actually this was the car that I wanted to learn more about before getting the Rivian because I also have a Model Y and I've been looking into like, okay, well, I don't want to go full off-roading, but
Right.
also I love my Y, but be able to keep this, both of it.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, so but I ended up getting the Rivian, but so he has a red Model Y Performance. What
Yes.
year is this?
2021.
2021, red on black. And so what have you done to this car? So
It
it is higher.
It is raised. I did two lifts technically. I did modern or Mountain Pass Performances lift spacers, as well as Unplugged Performances dirt and snow lift coilover kit. So
They're both installed.
they're both installed. So I went as high as I possibly could, and the guys at Unplugged said that they have a couple customers that have done the same thing, but I have yet to see them anywhere on the internet or social media or anything. So I'm kind of learning as I go, because there's definitely been some additional factors and issues that I've come across that I've kind of had to work my way through compared to just doing a standard spacer lift or just the coilovers by themselves. So it cost me more money to get where I'm at, but
So how high is it?
I'm in the 3.5 to 4 inch lift range, and I technically had to take close to an inch out of the coilovers, so I could go higher, but I was going to hit the front CV axle was going to hit a frame bolt, so I had to stop. I had to back it off.
So being at the coilovers, you could still adjust them,
Yes,
but
yeah,
but it's at its highest setting. You can't go
no,
any higher.
I could go an inch
Oh,
higher,
but it's gonna hit. It's
but
gonna hit.
but the front CV axles
I see. I
would
see.
make contact with that bolt.
Nice.
So
And so I think you recently got new wheels and tires, right?
I did it right when I did the lift.
Oh,
I
okay.
pretty much collected everything as I was going. The car was on airbags and 22-inch wheels
Oh, you
previously,
even had it bagged.
so
Oh,
I
wow.
did a complete 180
Yeah,
with
yeah, you
with it,
did.
and so it's come a long ways.
Yeah.
And the sway bars, I did Unplugged Performance's standard three-way adjustable sway bar in the front. I am the very first to install, including not even their shop car, got their new high articulation rear sway bar and their shorter adjustable in links. And beyond that, I'm one of the first few to get and install their yet to be released quick sway bar disconnects for the front.
Nice.
So after today's show, and we're doing a little photo shoot with a couple of us tomorrow in Malibu, it's gonna be time to get the car dirty because
it's too clean.
The off-roadability is definitely finally there, and I'm happy with where it's at. So
you also have a spare tire, which is mounted on like a bar along the back of your car.
It's from a company called Rigid, and this is technically made for the Rivian because the trailer hitches are tucked underneath so much farther than a standard truck or crossover.
It's under. It's
so
really under,
they had to extend the shank that actually goes into the receiver of the trailer hitch to do so. So again, I'm one of the first few that have gotten my hands on that as well, and it fully swings out. It has a camp table. It has my propane bottle for my camp stove attached to it. We'll eventually have Rotopacks for water attached to it as well, and it's awesome. And
And you just you drove to Texas? Did you go camping there as well? Or
no, just went out to see family. But it was a 3,200 mile round trip, and we had some issues coming back with the weather and whatnot, and had a charging station go down, and it was in major panic mode for a short little bit, and contacted Tesla trying to find out if their battery buffer was a thing that they could unlock, because I wasn't going to make it to South Tucson, and it had us stopping in Wilcox, Arizona, and the temperature was 41 degrees and the wind was howling at a consistent, I'd say 30 to 35 miles an hour. And we left Deming, New Mexico to Wilcox, which was our next stop, and it showed that I was going to have a 34% buffer by the time we got to Wilcox. And with
all that, I don't think what did you end up
within 40 or 50 miles, whatever it was, to Lordsburg, New Mexico, my arrival percentage dropped down to 9%. And with as not efficient as my car is now, I didn't want to risk it. So I found an Electrify America charger in Lordsburg, and we stopped there. But
so, do you know what your watt hour per mile is now?
With the roof box, I'm averaging around 425 to 440.
Wow, so it has...
it's definitely jumped up. Without the box, I'm in the 375 range.
So the box...
It's a big hit.
Even though it's like aerodynamic enough.
Yeah, and it's low profile compared to some of them. It drops down on top of the roof rack pretty good. And
then your wheels are... How big are your tires? Are you in the 30s?
They're 255, 55, 18s on method wheels.
Okay. And they're probably more than likely heavier.
No, they're this combination is still, I think, 3 pounds lighter than the factory 21s.
Yeah, the factory is 34 pounds, 37 pounds, I think.
With tire, I want to say they were in the 64
Yeah, they're pretty heavy.
range. And these, I think, were 61. But the nice thing about these is they're not staggered.
They're square,
now I can rotate tires. Actually get a decent amount of tread life out of them. Yeah,
my new wheels and tires, I kept them staggered as the stock size, but I went from 21s to 20s, and I'm thinking I shouldn't have done that, and probably got more meat. Instead of 35s, go 40.
Right.
Yeah, but maybe in the next set, I don't know. So, well, that's cool. What else have you gotten here? See, you're like a big Star Wars fan with the username and everything, and the theme and R2-D2. Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Pretty much everything except for the center console, which you guys may or may not see, is all done by me and my Cricut machine.
And we were talking about that. I was asking about your Cricut machine.
So all the decals and vinyl work and stickers and such I've done at home, and I had a shop do the custom center console
nice
wrap. And
then what screen do you have there?
I've got the hand show, the F68.
F68.
Yeah,
Okay.
mainly wanted it for CarPlay as well as just liked having the screen in front of you, and
Yeah.
I like the fact that it attaches to the column, so it moves, and it's never blocked by the steering wheel.
So you mentioned CarPlay. Is that like a big thing for you? Because Tesla doesn't come with CarPlay.
My previous to the Ford Fusions both had
Had it.
CarPlay and really got used to it, and with messaging and such, it's so much easier. The one thing that I'm not happy about with Tesla is the messaging and the additional apps that you can use that you
Because
can
there
with
is
CarPlay.
notification for
Right.
text and stuff.
Yeah, it's limited in comparison to CarPlay or Android
I see.
Auto, and
Yeah.
it just makes the user, it's a little more user friendly and
Yeah.
has a few more features. And the fact that I can still run my navigation, so I've got the superchargers and such through the big screen, I can still run Waze and see.
Yeah. Yeah, the Waze thing is cool because I have the F9
Yeah.
with the vents under, and
Right,
it
right.
doesn't really, I don't know. But I wanted it because I wanted the gauge clusters to be behind the steering wheel.
Sure.
Because my other car is the Model X, which has it, and then the Rivian also has
Right.
the gauge clusters there. I don't know why they didn't do it, but they should have done both screens. But yeah, I just gotten so used to looking at something in front of
Right.
me. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else? So if you had to pick just one thing
Mhm.
that you love about owning an EV, the Tesla Model Y, what would that be?
I mean, we've got solar and a wall connector at home, so I mean, waking up to essentially a full tank every morning
That convenience
is awesome. I mean,
and the money saving.
absolutely. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me that more people aren't willing to accept, and they get caught up in stuff that the media puts out and whatever, and they get to thinking, oh, well, I don't want to have to stop for 20 to 40 minutes to charge. And it's like, especially if you're on a road trip, you're looking forward to getting out and stretching your legs
Yes.
and going to the restroom, grabbing a snack or whatever. And by the time you come back, it's time
done.
to go anyways.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're going to spend that time, whether you think about it or not. It's just, you're not at a gas pump for 5 minutes and go on the road again. But if you accept it and you know that it's going to happen, that you have to stop. And most of the time, most of those stops to and from East Texas, they were like 20-25 minutes, and obviously shorter ones, and there were a few longer ones for the longer legs. And I would overcharge, just compensating for my car not being as efficient as a stock Model Y, of course. But I mean, I've got back issues and everything, so I'm ready to get out of the car in an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it may be, that is in between our charging stops. So I mean, it just makes all the sense in the world to me.
I agree. Now, if you had to say one thing, only one, that you don't like about owning an EV or the Model Y, what would that be?
I'm still waiting and really want the range to be extended. So I just got done saying that I enjoy the stops in between every hour and a half or 2 hours, but on the flip side, I think commonplace should be minimum 400 miles, just for a good starter, and
so with all
make it easier for people to give in and be willing to look into doing it.
Okay. With all the modifications you've done, are you still getting close to 300 miles?
No. I'm probably in the 225 to 240.
225. So my Model Y performance is 2022, and I know it's not a great way to measure it, but when I charge it to 100%, it was saying 279.
Right.
So I think I usually, whatever the EPA range is, I usually subtract 10% off just
Sure.
for whatever reason. So I think it falls around there too, like 279, 285 ish.
Yeah.
On a full charge. If it was like a straight, You know,
Right,
like maybe
right.
driving 75 miles an hour with no crosswinds or headwind or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yours went down to 225, two.
On a bad day, it'd probably be in the 225. On
You're probably
average,
stretching about
I'm
240.
probably about 240. The car's comfortable. I mean,
Yes.
there's no doubt about that. And I had subscribed for full self driving for the trip, so the first day headed out, I let the car drive probably 80% of it,
Mm.
and Texas was a different story. Just a lot of potholes and whatever else, and they only like you to use the left lane to pass.
Yeah.
They don't want you driving in the left lane. And so between that, even though I put in the minimal lane changes, it still constantly wanted to get over into the left lane.
Yeah.
And I was just like, forget it, I'll drive.
And that was prior to V12, right? That's the
that
11.
was no, that was with
That was V12?
that. Or no, I take that back. I got V12 while we were there in Texas, and
Oh.
I used my phone as a hotspot so I could download the update.
Nice.
But
Was there a difference between going there and coming back?
not
Not too
incredibly. From what it sounded like, the majority of the fixes were for being on city streets and such. The highway driving didn't change a whole lot. But and then again, it was the same way going back. I would
Yeah.
use it as much as I could going through Texas on the way back. But once we hit New Mexico and Arizona, it was a much easier drive, and just let it do its thing and let it drive probably 75%
Cool.
on the way back.
All right. So, final question. If you had no budget, you just have unlimited budget to buy your next car, what car would that be?
Oh boy. That's a tough one. I mean,
It could be any car. It doesn't have to be an EV.
I told my wife if we won the lottery, one of the first cars that I would get would probably be a 911 GT3 RS.
GT3 RS. Nice. Why is that?
I'm very much, I've always been a car guy, and I love performance and cars that handle.
Yes.
I've always been a big Porsche fan since before I was old enough to drive, and it's just, that's always been
Yeah.
a dream car of mine, even above and beyond Ferraris and Lamborghinis. It's just,
That was it. Nice.
that was the car for me. And I know it's not a daily driver by any means. It's not meant
Yeah.
to be, but what I would give to be able to have one of those on a track and
Oh, nice.
be able to use it for what it's meant for. It just, that is definitely the car that I would go
Great.
for first.
All right. Well, I thank you for your time, Sean.
Of course.
Follow him on Instagram. I'll put all his details in the description below. You got to check out his car. It's really nice. I love it. So thank you for watching. If you like the video, please like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.